Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we'll be learning about variables. What are variables? So, a variable represents one piece of data in memory. So, I would like you to imagine a variable as a container that holds a value. A container can be a box that contains different items. In JavaScript, we have two ways of defining a variable. We can either define it with let keyword or with const. Const stands for is a short form for constant. Any variable we declare with constant means that it is holding a particular variable that cannot be changed. For example, my name. My name is Daniel. Can I change my name to Shedrack? No, I can't. I was given Daniel. So it is a constant variable. Till I die, my name will always remain Daniel. So why do we need variable? The reason why we need variable is to allow the computer to create space in memory for our data. Data refers to a piece of information. So how do we declare variable? Declaration of variable allows memory space to be reserved using an identifier. What do we call an identifier? An identifier can be your name, the name given to the variable. Variable name must start with a letter, or it must start with very important. A variable name can must start with a letter, and there's a way we write our variable. Provide the variable name, we give it a value that we can easily that it is associated with what it is holding. For example, if I want to create a variable called name, that means it's either holding a value called Daniel, called Sharon, called Victory, called Precious, or anything. If I want to hold a variable that contains number, I may just create I may allow the identifier to be names of user, right? No, I can say number of user. Maybe I just provide it with a value of 2 or 1 or 3 or 7, as the case may be. So what is now assignment? Assignment operation is just like the equal sign in mathematics, but in JavaScript, equal sign is actually double assignment operation. So initialization is a process of creating a first value for your variable. So let's see how it works in practice. So I've opened my Visual Studio and I've created my index.jx file so I can code. So I want to create a variable with let. Remember when we used let can let allow us to change the value that is inside the variable at a later time. For example, I can put this as number, right? The identifier is number of user equals to, I provided a value of 10, right? Good. This is okay. And mind you, I've provided it with a value of 10, right? That is the first value I provided it with. But on a later time, I may just decide to just I may just decide to give it a different value. Number of user, then I provide it with a value of 11. So what do you think will be the value saved in the memory of the computer? So there's what we call the console.log. Console.log is like a screen for the developer that allows us to see the outcome of our command. It is for the developer and not for the client. Like it allows us to see the outcome of what our client may see. So console dot log. So the identifier we provide is the name, number of user. So let's see what we occur here. So mind you, let me drag my code up a little bit because I've opened my terminal. This is the console. I've opened my console, so I want to run my scripts, right? So the script is I think is index.jx. Index.jx. Let me clear my screen. Okay, my screen is clear. So I will use node. Remind you, in order to run the script, I have to first put node, then the name of the script, then I'll press enter. Good. So what is the value that was given now? The value that was provided was 11. Let me drag it a little bit further, or let me reduce it because I actually increased it so that you guys could see it better. I don't know why this thing. Good. See the value here. 11. 11. So I think I need to shut down one of the terminal, key terminal being opened, because I don't know why it's showing this double this thing. Let me do it like this. So you can see that the value provided now is 11. It is 11 that was saved and not 10. So this is the initialization. This was the first value that was provided, and this is the final value that was provided. And mind you, you could see that I didn't use the word let again because I've already declared it. Declaration. I've already used this let word to declare that, oh, create a space for this, and I've already assigned. This is the assignment operation here. I've assigned, and this is the value of 10, and this is initialization. This is the first value. First value. This is the first value that was provided, and why this is the second value that was provided. 11. The second value that was provided. You could see the way we declare it now. So let's do the same thing for the const. Remember, we said we have two ways. The const, for example, I use const, then name. Let me give it a name, Daniel. So for us to write um, name is actually a string because it's not just one character, it is a string. So Daniel, sorry, I'm writing in small letter. Daniel. So let's now assign a different value to it. Let's see if it's going to work. Remember, I don't need to put the same name again. Name of user. I think this is better. Name of user. You can see. So I want to give it a different value. Let me call it love now. Are they the same thing? Yeah. So it's already making that suggestion for us. You can see this underline, all these double triple dots here. It's trying to tell us that there is an error. It's trying to tell us that there is something quick. It said that could not find name. Do you mean okay? Is it the same this thing I spelled? Okay, good. So in JS, every variable are case sensitive, very case sensitive. That means that if you are writing O, capital letter O is different from small letter O, so it won't know what you are saying. if you declare a variable with capital letter A, is different from a variable that you declare with small letter a. So it's actually case sensitive. So now let's make console.log now. Remember what I said the console is? It's just a screen for the developer to see the outcome of his work. Good. So I want to drag my terminal again. Good. So let's run it. I can use the arrow key so it will give me back my previous command, arrow the up and down. So pressed enter. I pressed enter. So it didn't work. It created and it showed me an error. An error was displayed. An error was displayed. See, assignment to constant variable. It is not possible. So this is a error message that was displayed for us to know that what we did is actually wrong. So I will scroll down and remove this. I can comment it out. In programming, there's how we comment code out. So when we comment code, it will not be it will not be read at all by the compiler. It will not be read at all. So I've commented it out with this double forward slash. So I've commented it out, and I want to drag my terminal again. I want to clear my screen. I can use the clear command. Good, I've cleared the screen. So let me drag it well so that we'll see what is going on. Then my up arrow, then press enter. You can see Daniel. The first one we run was a number, and now Daniel. So Daniel is a constant. It cannot change. Your name cannot change, except if your name cannot change. Your name is still your name. You cannot change your name. So that is that. The let, we can initialize a value, provide a value for it, but for the const you can't change it. It's the way it is. So why do we need it? Why do we need it to? We need it to for different. It depends on what we are doing. For example, when you are for some, like we just make a good example, the name cannot change, right? Your user may have a particular name, so that name is constant, so you can just save it in your memory that, oh, it's like that. But the age can change, right? They may be 20 today and tomorrow they may be 21 thereabout, and there are other things you need to do that you know that, oh, you are going to change, is going to change with time. So let let's go further now. Naming thing. Okay, now in JS, in JavaScript, we have what we call our naming style. We have what we call syntax. Syntax, it means the way you write your code. So in JavaScript, there's a way we write our code, and we call it the camel casing. Camel casing. So you can see it here, camel casing. So this is what they call camel casing. So an example of it was what I did here. We usually start with the small, each word from the beginning we start with small letter, but when we enter a new word, the first letter is capitalized while the remaining letter are in small letter, until when we enter another different word we capitalize it. That is what we call the camel, just in the way camel is the camel casing. And why is it very important? It enables us to easily know what we've written. To differentiate each word, you can easily read it. Number of user. If you decide to write it like this, it's still a valid variable name, but it will be more difficult. It is not as presentable as it, because I can easily read this than looking at this, because I will have to take a time to know that, oh, this is where the word breaks. So with this I already know that when I'm saying the capital I is a new word, and I can easily identify the meaning. So why do we name? Naming is very important. So like for example, you must provide a good identifier, or a variable name that matches with what you are trying to save. For example, I told you variable is just a box, right? That will save different value. So assuming I have a variable, a box that is saving names, I can just recall it name box. So it's very easy for me to identify that, oh, this one is saving name. If it's a variable that is saving number, I can look for a variable name that has to relate with the number, like no number of user. So it's very easy for me to understand what I am doing, right? So, and I said we use the camel casing for JavaScript. Other programming language may have different style, the different syntax, but for JavaScript, which we are interested in, we use the camel casing. So I already make illustration of this declaration. So when we provide when we declare a variable without providing, well, without attaching a value to it, it will give us what we call the undefined. So all these things we will be learning them in in our in our other class. So for now, I think that is all about variable. So is you can see that it's very interesting. It's not as difficult as some people think it is. And with JS, you can do your calculation. Like all these things are calculation that we can run, right? So let good. So these are calculation, right? So this won't work. Okay, look at this is the first declaration. Let me comment this out. I've written this code. So declaration, we use the let keyword to declare. I think I need to collapse this and make it brighter, increase the front a little bit. So we use the let a, means we just declare. We just told the we instruct the computer to create space in memory. And once you run this code console.log, it will be undefined. Why is it undefined? Because we have not attached any value to it. Now we have assigned a value to it, and now if we run the code, this is what is going to display, right? The same thing if you run, if you decide to now change, reassign it to a different thing, this is what is going to be. You can see one thing with the let keyword. The let allow you to change what is being programmed, right, in the memory. You can just put, oh, take 500 today, tomorrow you just take 200. So now in the head of the computer, now it's 200. So you can easily change you can easily change the value inside when you use the let keyword. So you can change the value inside it, and we can also perform arithmetic calculation. Now we've assigned variable b with this figure, and we assign variable a with this figure, so we can add them together. Console.log this, and it will bring out the result. The result will be this. You can see how it is not complicated like that. As you may see, it's very, and oh, finally, there's what we call the increment and the decrement. Increment, once you see, for example, we have already declared a variable called c, and we wrote plus plus. Plus plus means c plus 1. So any value that this t hold, additional 1 will be added to it. And supposing we do the opposite and put minus minus minus, so any value of c, 1 will be deducted from it. So that will be all from this course on variable. Remember, we have two style of naming variable. We have the let and the const, and we use const to assign to what can be changed. Like for example, your address, You may just put that, oh, const, my address is so 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 and so this. Fine. My name is so 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 and so this. You can use const for that, and you can also use let. So depending on what you want. So that will be all for this video. I know you may have seen in some tutorial video where they use what they call var. Var is the old JavaScript. It is not recommended at all. So you can use the let. Now let is the one that is valid. So that will be all for this video. Please, if you find this video interesting, please endeavor to subscribe so that you get notification on the next available video. In my next video, I'll be talking about data type. Thank you.